My mic, yep, mic's working. All right, here we go. Here we go. Who's ready? Who's ready? Place your bets now. Bet your MMR now. Who's it gonna be? Gameleap or Dota Alchemy? Let's go. Let's go. Gameleap versus Dota Alchemy. Let's see what the standings are like right now. We've got... Alright, so the Pandas 2-0 J-Storm. So currently, We Dislike Bears, aka Team Jenkins, has 1 point. J-Storm has 2 points. And Team Doze, aka Speed, has 0 points. And that is for the 3rd place slot, which means that you go to the minor qualifiers as the first seed. So, important stuff. These games matter a lot. Of course, if you want to watch this on Twitch, you can do so over on Zyori's channel, but let's be honest. You want to be on the Dota Alchemy channel, where you will get a completely unbiased cast of Dota Alchemy absolutely dumpstering Team Doze, aka Gameleap. Got Ray Lalisa on the Zeus with no cosmetics, aside from the lightning bolt. Pretty questionable. Oh, he has the shield. Okay, so he might do okay. We've got Kallio on the Nature's Prophet. We've got NPL playing the Razor. Jenkins, our boy, the one and only, the god himself, offlane's champion. NA's last hope on the Abaddon. We've got Binky, an unknown player named Binky, who they picked up the other day on the position for Invoker. They'll be laning against Speed. So right off the bat, we're going to see Dota Alchemy against Gameleap. Lots of pressure on both players. And you know where we're going to be watching most of the game? Yep, that will be mid lane, because that's where the action's going to be. Lots of kills going on. I think there's some stuff going on top side, but not really sure. We're going to be watching the Queen of Pain against the Zeus. Looks like Doze will be bullied off of the bottom river rune. And it's going to be a 2-for-2 to start off in terms of the bounties. Oh, hell yeah. Let's get Henry in here. Let's get Henry in here, my boy. Let's get my boy Henry in here.
Hey, how you doing?
Yo.
How's it going? Oh, I gotta turn off your stream because I'm hearing you twice.
Alright, this is gonna be some real spicy stuff going on.
Can you hear me alright?
I can hear you.
Awesome. What do you think of these drafts? Who's got the edge?
You know, I kind of like the Razor. I think that Razor's super overpowered right now, and I think that if they can play aggressive in the bottom lane, then they can run down this Veno. But if they don't play aggressive early, then they could get completely dumped on.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Razor pick. I also really like the Invoker 4 against both Wyvern and Bara. I think... Oh wow, he's gonna dive and kill the Courier on AMB. I really think Invoker 4 is really good against those... I don't know, just something about the disruption of Tornado EMP really owns the curse from Wyvern as well as Spearbreaker Charge. It's gonna be really hard for those supports to accomplish much.
Oh, we got first blood in the bottom lane. Venomancer goes down to Kallio. Nature's Prophet 5 is back with a Vengeance Henry, and
yeah,
that stuff looks so good.
Strong. Yeah, the Courier killing especially is ridiculous. I mean,
yeah.
I just watched EG play with Fly, and they were sniping Couriers like every 10 seconds. And you Suze like in the late game, it's like worse to have your Courier die than it used to be.
Oh yeah.
So
it's longer and you lose way more GPM for sure.
Yeah. And then they changed how Stout Shields work, right? So melee heroes
they don't exist.
Lot weaker. Yeah, I mean you get a lot weaker damage block than you used to get if you were a melee hero with a Stout Shield.
Yep. Oh, Ray getting dove.
They might get denied. If they're good, they'll deny him. Oh, they're focused on the club.
Those go down. They will trade mid laners. Gonna give the kill to Binky. And Ray will actually get back to lane earlier to get the experience, potentially. So, not actually the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, Quab uses TP. It's only 4 more seconds. Not a big deal, yeah.
Oh, another courier potentially going down. Bottom lane, Pingu. Trying to snipe it with a ward. He will get it. That's no passive gold for the Razor. Not good. Alright, but everybody wants to talk about the top lane, right? We've got Dota Alchemy currently being dove by Speed. It won't be Speed who gets the kill, but Gameleap.
I love how you say by Speed when all he does is barely help the slug who kills him.
Well, that's why we're casting this, right? There's a lot on the line.
There's a lot. It's the pride.
It's
the pride is the biggest thing.
And it's not out of the realm of possibility that Jenkins' stack could end up as the top seed from their group in the minor qualifiers. Like, they're not going to go to...
Who else is in their group?
J-Storm, who's like really bad.
Minor qualifiers. Minor qualifiers, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously NIP...
Yeah, J-Storm, I saw
Chaos
some
will
draft where they had Meepo into, like, the worst Meepo game you could play. And I saw J-Storm. They did so good last qualifier, and they were looking really disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, they did well at the major, but...
This is why I'm really not a fan of this Zeus pick into Quapara. It's going to be really hard to play Zeus, but this... Ray Lalisa plays like 3 heroes. He plays Storm, Odie, and Zeus, and Odie's really bad right now, and I'm supposing they just didn't want to play Storm, probably too greedy with their draft, so... He only plays like 3 or 4 heroes.
Yeah, you can see the Bara definitely just abusing that there's 2 heroes that really just don't have any mobility, the Razor and the Zeus. He's just going to charge back and forth between the lanes and make this Nature's Prophet have to do a ton of rotating.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't know these players, but as someone who knows like all 10 of these guys, Doze loves Bara. They've been playing with some of the same guys, you know, give or take a few, but they've been playing Bara for like 2 years now.
Yep.
So they love playing this hero. They love playing with this hero. I actually met Dubla at, what was it, TI8, and we got drunk and talked about Bara. So
what is there to talk about?
He loves that hero.
Bro, I pressed Q. I pressed Q all game long.
It went something along the lines of Bara's so fun. I love that hero, you know.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a Bara fan too. Makes your game real easy. Alright, caught that one. Pingu goes
He's
down.
Gonna die, speaking of Bara. Oh, if he gets another bash, he still dies.
Alright, Kaleo, he's showing up as garbage collector duty. He's been to a lot of these, just picking up the last hit here. And he's level 4. He's only 1 level below the mid laners right now on this Pose 5 Nature's Prophet, despite rotating constantly this entire game.
I really like the choice of rushing mech on this Prophet, because if he makes a move right now to play with the Abaddon in the next like minute or two, you have like this weakness in this Abaddon lane where he's going to get crushed by Slark. And if they have this Prophet come push this lane before Wyvern has any serious levels, they could actually put a really big dent in the top lane and force Slark into the jungle.
That's true.
Next minute or two. They have a card, so like if I was Prophet, I definitely would have gone top. Instead, they're actually going to leave top and focus on playing on the Zeus, which I disagree with that, because Bara's just going to waste their time.
Yeah, I feel like this Slark is a hero that could get out of hand in this game, just because he's good against Abba. He kind of doesn't really care about Zeus that much, the way people build him now, which is just really stat heavy. And then Razor kind of does nothing to Slark.
I definitely feel like Radiant, with their map movements right now, they're actually going to miss their window of opportunity to take a tier 1 tower in the first like 15-20 minutes. That's going to be really bad for them, because they're definitely never going to take Venom's tower. He's going to be able to hold that lane forever, and it's going to be really hard to take a tower around Zeus's lane, especially against Sabara in the mid lane. And if they don't play around top in the next minute or two, I just don't see them succeeding in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, Abba's really not going to have much of a game, and that could be a problem. But, you know, at the same time, it seems like the supports are kind of the cores in this game, as Binky and Kaleo are duking it out. They get another kill on Quap after losing the Zeus.
There's the mech.
There's the mech, but another nice bash, but another nice kill for Binky. And
yeah, he's going to have an urn. He's massive, actually. He's really farmed.
It's a big pose for.
What's interesting is both these support players on Radiant are 4 players, so it's pretty funny to see that they're both kind of playing as 4s in this game. There's no real, and maybe that's the new meta, honestly.
It's definitely true. Like, there's enough farm to go around. It feels like that position 5 is sort of just like, it's like a relic of the past. Maybe you have to buy a few more centuries or dust than normal, but at the same time, you're gonna have the same farm as everybody else.
So Prophet is finally making his way up top, but the problem is you have level 6 on Slark now and almost level 5 on Wyvern, I think, and no
Right.
cart here. I definitely think they missed their window of opportunity to play here.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I mean, Jenkins really, he doesn't have a lane anymore. That's a problem.
Jesus, Slark's actually so in. He
Wow.
does die, but
I don't know if I like that. That's a little bit of a. I mean, sure you get the profit, but your Slark going down is he's having like a way better game than he should have right now, and losing that momentum's kind of
yeah,
mediocre.
he over pursued. I don't think he factored in the mech, so he and then
Yep.
once he was in, it's one of those things where like, okay, this Speed just lost his creeps, his courier to Ninja's Prophet creeps.
You can learn more about that on Gameleap.com. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I would definitely like to see them utilize this early mech. Like, he went straight mech, nothing else. And he's rushing Greaves, too. So it's, you kind of want him to be with the team and not just solo defending a tower bottom.
Yeah.
Double up.
They're gonna kill Zeus again.
Yep. Same time, Speed getting dove by Jenkins. Jenkins manning up. Says, get out of my house. Binky hits a nice tornado. Will be the Shadow Dance. Jenkins does not have ult anymore. Quap does rotate up, and here comes the charge in from Bara as well. Another courier is going to die. Somebody call PETA, Henry. We're losing
The courier
animals.
stuff is so clowny. I don't know. Something about it just irks me. Like, it's just visual clutter. Having couriers dying 24/7 is just not good, not pleasing for me as a viewer. It's very annoying.
It really is just simply a change that they made for pubs, because courier etiquette in pubs is non-existent, and it's like one of the most tilting things in the game. Like,
Razor's gonna die bottom.
oh, here comes the shield.
Ooh,
Maybe
maybe
turns
not.
around actually. Doubla, he's gonna go down. Ingu also could get chased, but he's a Veno, so should be fine.
This is the nice thing about Zeus is you just have so much damage that you're basically always useful no matter how bad your game is.
Yeah, that's why it works as a 4 or a 5 sometimes. Because he doesn't need farm. He's going to do the same amount of damage regardless. Oh, Courier's going to somehow escape. Nice curse. Get away by Speed. They're going to go back in though. Kaleo level 6. Has the mech still. Binky kind of low on mana, so they probably don't want to engage here, but there's the tornado
that's
you were
the
talking
power
about.
tornado, yeah, from Spara. That's gonna become like increasingly annoying because they're basically the only way they can start fights on Dire is just diving in, and Tornado EMP really disrupts that.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. They're like, they've got Slark, they've got Bara, and they've got Quap. All three heroes basically just need to throw their body at the other team. And into a Razor Zeus Invoker, that's a little bit scary.
For sure. He's actually rushed the drums on Razor. I'm curious if he goes to Yule's build. It's not amazing this game, but that's definitely the most popular build I'm seeing almost every game on Razors.
Just like
Just
straight movement speed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And having like a TP cancel and a stun and a dispel from the Yules is really, really useful in that hero. And basically infinite mana too.
Right. Yeah. That kind of solves most of his problems. Ray playing pretty aggressively despite having no real save on their side with the Jenkins in the bottom lane, but they do have a cart, so they want to keep it alive. They're going to actually glyph the wave.
Yeah, they're actually going to just push with this cart.
Yep. Jenkins TP's in. Speed rotating
Wyvern's
over.
on his way, a little late.
But here comes
He
the
might
Quap as
curse
well.
the setup, yeah, for rotation.
Yeah,
This
this
is going to be really good.
Yeah, here comes the Veno as well. Probably, oh, cancels the TP, gets tornadoed, I think, in the bottom lane. But yeah, really good rotation to save their tower, get a kill on the Zeus again. Jenkins, will he commit? He will. Ray actually
What on earth?
sniping it with the
That is
buyback.
Great buyback to kill steal.
It also will secure the tower, which they probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So, you know, not the worst thing in the world, but buying back on your 2 and 5 Zeus at 11 minutes is pretty sus. But that's a pretty classic Ray move right there, if I've ever seen one.
So he did just buy a win lace. Maybe he will go Yules here on the Razor. I'm curious what he ends up going. It might just be like a win lace to fill that slot. He just gets a
Shield.
4-man shield. which
Dang.
honestly is an insane item. What I don't understand is why did they like totally remove Stout Shield, but you can get a permanent shield? Why can't you get a Stout Shield from the jungle?
I don't know. There were some pretty interesting changes in this patch. I like most of them. I don't know how you feel about the current patch. But...
I was just watching. I just saw the item Telescope, which changes your scan, how frequently you can scan.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's an AoE attack range and spell range aura as well. And I just think like an AoE attack range, like every unit on your team in an AoE gets 125 attack range.
I still have never dropped that item. It's tier 4?
It's pretty rare. Yeah, it's tier 4. It's tier
Okay.
4. It's pretty. But I saw it in EG's game against Nip and the Prophet, and that's a pretty insane item.
Yeah, definitely.
Overall, let me think. There's like one item that's broken, but I can't remember what it is. I think Imp Claw is really, really, really strong as well.
Especially like a Conga or something.
Yeah, it's like tier 2, and you just get it on a carry or a high damage hero, and all of a sudden you're just insane.
Right. Outpost getting claimed by Ray in the top side. Yeah, these outposts are... I think people are starting to kind of understand that you kind of don't care about them until like 45 seconds before the 5-minute marks.
Yeah,
generally speaking.
I'm seeing some pro teams be really good at playing around the outpost times, you know, smoking for them, things like this.
Right.
The vision that the outpost gives is actually insane. Like,
yeah, it's one of the best places to fight on the entire map.
Yeah, you can see well in advance when someone's like coming to approach your outpost and actually plan for it. Plus, it's like 6 seconds to take it over.
Yep. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think we're seeing like these ridiculously aggressive fight-heavy games. Lots of snowballing. It's a pretty snowbally patch for sure, but it's been fun at least. Here comes the charge bottom.
Zeus, yeah.
Gets slowed up by the ward. Scouted out though. Binky lands a tornado.
He messed up. He should have cold snapped him because now he's just gonna walk away.
A little bit late on the cold snap there.
What the?
Whoa, Vallejo. Sprouting himself, interesting play.
So that's really interesting. He's max teleportation, which I guess is the new meta.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Like, that's why you pick the hero, right? So you can be everywhere on the map. Oh, Ray getting dove by AMB. The mech coming out will potentially turn it, but
yeah,
no.
That's an Arcane Rune on Quap. He's really strong.
Will they get more? There's the stun on Binky as well. He's going to go down. Big plays by the Quap there with that Arcane Rune for sure.
So Quap's actually just going to go straight BKB, which I actually kind of like because they have actually... Razor's the only physical damage, and he's not going to do anything to Quap. It's going to be used for the Razor. He also has a Faded Branch, which is mana and move speed. Kind of a decent item. I'd like to see that maybe on Zeus, though, but still, decent item. You know what I noticed? Tier 10 items, or Tier 2 items start at 10 minutes, right?
Yes.
I noticed
15? They start at 15, don't they?
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. But I noticed pretty much all the items everybody has dropped in the last 2 or 3 minutes. And I don't know if that's... Nature's Prophet's getting jumped. I don't know if that's something to do with the RNG or what, but I just saw like 7 or 8 items drop in like 3 minutes or something.
It is pseudo-random, right? So I think if you haven't dropped them for a while, then you'll probably be more likely to drop them. And
yeah,
so that kind of makes sense. They're going to scout out a ward there in the mid lane. But another charge coming in.
Like, if there's a way you can kind of time your jungling to maximize item drop efficiency.
Maybe so. Are they going to get the Quap here? There's a big ultimate from the Venomancer. Trying to save the Quap. He will get out, actually. Late rotation by Jenkins' squad into this fight. Slark kind of getting caught. Razor slowed down. Will find 1 kill. Venomancer, I don't know if you want to fight this guy. Got a bunch of damage stolen. Oh, and the Slark is going to get out. Sunstrike, not enough damage. Razor, the only surviving member of his team for now.
Yeah, the Slark is pretty massive, and he has a Arcane Ring, which is kind of an odd item for him. But the early Diffuser Blade is really, really good, especially against all these kind of slow-moving heroes like Zeus and Abada.
Yeah, yeah, it absolutely destroys both of those heroes. And even pretty good against the Razor, right? You can Diffusal and then leap away, and then he just can't catch you.
Whoa, Razor picked that up. Okay, for a second, walk by People's Gift. That item actually is early item. I don't know, what is that? That's tier 2.
Yeah.
And that's a really strong item.
Oh, yeah.
13 for him, that's 13 strength and intelligence, which is pretty strong.
Yeah, he has a 1200 mana pool right now. That's absolutely nuts on a Razor.
Yeah, I mean, he basically, yeah, he has to give some of this to Zeus, some of his items. He has to, yeah.
He gives over the Faded Brooch. Top lane being pressured by Ice Queen. Jenkins going straight for a pipe. Counter with the Venomancer. This feels like a pretty rough Abaddon game. You're kind of just going to play support for the rest of the game at this point. Speed. Gonna go down to the Zeus. Actually, Razor gets the last hit there. Buyback on the Wyvern. Razor quite low. Probably gonna fall here.
Yeah,
oh, nice deny.
Huge. He's worth a lot of gold. That's a huge deny.
Ray out of position. Here comes the charge. Where's the tornado? Oh, no cold snap. Has it off cooldown. And he's going to get cursed up. This is a big setup. A and B leaps in. Trying to bait them, I guess, with the cold. Embrace Kaleo. He's going to go down. Binky getting charged under the ward. For the love of God, they're falling left and right. Bears get wiped, and Jenkins goes down solo to the Slark.
Yeah, that's a huge fight for Dire, and the Slark is just massive now.
8 stolen agility, 23 current essence shift.
Yeah, he's going S and Y diffusal blade. It's going to be really hard to kill him with the pipe.
Oh yeah.
They don't actually have any real stuns or control for Slark. I think just not ruining Slark's game early.
Yeah, that push that they missed.
They don't have like a lot of time to actually mess with Slark's game. That's something that like good players are really like astute and observant about, is just the windows of opportunity that you just can't miss against certain types of heroes like Slarks and Timbersaws that only have like small intervals of time where they're actually killable.
Right, like if you're not pressuring Timbersaw at level 1, then you're kind of throwing the lane, right?
Yeah.
Bristleback 2 sort of falls into that. And that just, if you have like the perfect counter pick like this Slark was to the lane that he was against. I also think that sacking the Zeus so hard mid is really coming back to bite them, because he's like a creep right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, they actually rotated into his lane like 12 times, but it was always in response.
Yep. It was kind of late.
And then more importantly, it's like, that goes back to why did they even pick Zeus? They already had Razor potentially for mid. Maybe they didn't with the Razor versus Quap matchup, but I honestly think that would have gone much better than the Zeus did, just in terms of getting doped by Spear Picker.
Alright, let's see whether this pipe pays off, because that was a 4-person Veno ulti, but looks like not really gonna take them down very much. Should be able to get this bounty rune and the outpost. Jenkins doesn't have anything else queued up at the moment. Has no courier either, so he's feeling pretty bad. BKB queued up for the Razor. Binky going ham after the Wyvern, who has a keen optic. Great item on Wyvern, by the way.
Yeah, it's some cast range in mana regen.
Uh-oh, Binky has the Spear Vessel flying in. Is it going to get sniped? He's not controlling the courier right now. Will get it delivered, but he's going to go down regardless, and Jenkins going to feed more agility to the Slark, it looks like. Gets clumsy netted up. What an item to have on supports, by the way.
Yeah, Radiant's just kind of, yeah, the net item is actually insane. Radiant's just kind of playing pretty poorly on the map. I mean, they keep taking fights off the back of one guy getting caught way out of position and things like this. When they're actually grouped up and taking a more controlled fight, they're actually really strong.
Yeah, they're playing very responsibly right now. Like, it's never them initiating the fights. It's pretty much just like, oh, Spearbreaker's charging me. Hey, guys, help. Slark on the hunt. Looks like he's flying out the full S and Y right now. Kaleo charged up, gonna get leashed. It's another death on the Nature's Prophet. But 3 hero rotation for position 5. If you're alright with that.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna first pick Prophet, they really should have banned Spearbreaker, especially knowing that that's like Doze's signature hero. They love that hero.
Definitely.
It's really, really hard to play Prophet against Spearbreaker.
Well, quietly, Ray has managed to eke together a Aghanims. He's 1 point booster away, so he should have that for potentially the next engagement, although Jenkins getting caught out here. Jenkins going in. Very aggressive.
Okay, Barra just lived because Invoker didn't use Spirit Vessel when he cold snapped him.
Invoker will pay the price. Ray also could go down because he has no defensive capability right now. NPL misses the leash right there. Feels bad. Who has the pipe? Is it Venomancer? Yeah, Venom has the pipe. Now Bear's making a few uncharacteristic mistakes for such expert players.
Is that their team name, Trash Bears?
That's We Dislike Bears.
Oh, I just saw Jenkins' tag with Trash Bears.
I think that's their tag.
If it's Trash Bears, they should have possums.
They
Those
should.
are like the actual Trash Bears.
Trash Panda.
Yeah.
Alright, MPL really needs this BKB. I feel like getting kited extremely hard. Kind of hard though, because you got BKB piercing from the Spearbreaker and the Wyvern. And
yeah, I mean, just the
lots of kite.
Yeah, kiting from Dire is going to be really problematic. I don't know. Taking a fight for Radiant's really, really hard. It has to be like a responsive team fight where they can actually use the Invoker and Zeus to just kill people when they dive and overcommit.
Yeah, or forcing a fight around Roche or something like that where they have to be grouped up. Oh, making a go on Slark, but he's nowhere near getting caught there. Responsive charge, here comes the Slark back in. Quap also rotating up, but there's 4 Radiant heroes here.
Yeah, Slark's just too strong. It's going to make fighting this really hard for them.
Big team fight. Veno ultimate onto just the Invoker, I believe. Kaleo in the backline is getting dove as well. Going to be a dead Razor, a dead Abaddon. Zeus nowhere near the fight, and that's probably good because he will be surviving as a result. Yeah, not a good trade for Radiant.
Radiant is just falling for the Slark dangling. Like, they just have to realize that they actually can't kill Slark. And so when Slark's just running at them or they're running at Slark, it's just a problem. Like, they're just going to throw every fight.
Yeah, they need to start taking really, really like selective fights only around areas where they completely control, and preferably against like 2 or 3 heroes at a time instead of all 5.
At this point, I actually don't know how they kill anybody who's not Spearbreaker or Wyvern. The other 3 people are pretty much unkillable.
Yeah,
it's gonna take like 45 minutes to kill Venomancer, and then the other 2 actually can't die.
Right.
Quap and Slark, because the BKB and Quap, and Slark's just so tanky and fast moving. It seems like the Arcane Ring's actually pretty effective for him, keeping him decent mana pool.
He's always been one of those heroes that suffers a little bit from like the switch of treads not being popular anymore. Just because the tread switching actually plays such a big role when you're trying to farm with that hero. So Arcane Ring does make a lot of sense. Ooh, and he finds a Paladin sword. Oh my gosh,
he got a Paladin sword.
Nasty. And he flies out the Basher too. This Slark is yoked right now.
That Paladin sword and what is it called? Titan Sliver or something like that? Like
should be tier 4.
I feel like the carry items, the items that give damage and stuff, are way stronger than the utility items.
Yeah, I agree.
From what I've noticed. That's one thing I don't like.
Like Orb of Destruction, for example.
Yeah.
Like,
that's tier 3, right?
I think so. We've got a Slaughter in the Radiant jungle, bottom side of the map. Razor trying to do something, but he just has no impact right now. This feels like one of the worst Razor games in terms of like actually getting stuff done.
Yeah. I don't know when I wasn't seeing the whole draft. What was the pick order? Because I know Quap was like the immediate response to Razor.
I think Razor was relatively early.
And Bloodseeker and pick Slark.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They saved last pick for their mid, and then they just picked this Zeus, who's just been horrible. I think that was a really big. And you know what? Honestly, after knowing these kind of players, I bet they were like, "Yo, what do you want to play for last pick mid?" And it's just like, "Give me Zeus."
Right.
And honestly, you just can't do that because.
Yeah, you need a captain to be like, nope.
No, you're just straight up not playing Zeus and Quap, Spiritbreaker, Wyvern, like.
Yeah.
Slark especially is so good against Zeus too. I don't know, that was the biggest throw, honestly. It's just the fact that they didn't punch the Slark top before he was 6, and then the fact that they picked Zeus at all were the biggest problems for me in this game.
Yeah, I agree. We can look at the pick order.
It doesn't show in the. You have to go like Dota Buff or something. The little scoreboard page is when they actually clicked the hero as opposed to when they picked it in the draft, which is really weird.
Oh, weird. Okay, I gotcha. Well, whatever. I'm sure it was probably an early Razor, just considering how terrible the draft was against the Razor.
Yeah, I think they went Prophet Razor or Prophet Abaddon and then Razor third and then Quap right after the Razor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, game 1 goes to Speed Gaming and Gameleap. I haven't actually run.
It was all him.
it was all him, you know.
Exclusively Speed.
That's usually how it goes, right? It's one person who's responsible for winning the game or losing the game, and that's why you can blame your teammates when they're trash. Just how it goes. Man, what do you think about the SA qualifiers, by the way? What the fuck are those groups? Why is...
I didn't even see the groups. What do you mean? What's
okay,
happening?
so we have... Let me read them to you. In Group A, we have Pain Gaming, Furia, which is Duster's stack. We have Beast Coast, and we have Infamous, which is Tomato, and then we have an open qualifier team. And the other side on Group B is Team Unknown, Ego Boys, Incubus Gaming, Vicious Gaming, and Gorilla's Pride.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that Pain and Beast Coast should be in different groups.
Exactly. That's the main thing. And I mean, Furia is probably the third best team in this qualifier.
Yeah. So the top 3 teams in the qualifier are in the same. Who did the seeding?
Whoever did it very poorly, I must say.
That's actually a question that I have is like, who actually does the seeding for qualifiers? Because as someone who's qualified for regional qualifiers many times and played many regional qualifiers, it feels like there's no one actually, like, you can't put a name or a face to anyone who actually does any of that stuff until you're actually at the major.
Isn't it
Everything
just
before
automated?
that is like a big question. I have no idea. I really don't know. But I know that I've had so many problems, and they're, depending on the organization, they're usually entirely hands off. Like, if you have a problem, it's just like that, you have to fix it.
Right.
I did want to give props though to DreamLeague, because normally what fucks a lot of the tier 2, tier 3 players is like qualifiers would be like 12 p.m. on a Tuesday, and it's just like people have work and school.
Right.
But these ones have all been on the weekend, the actual regional qualifiers, which is, at least that's pretty cool. But then it is going to run into Monday, Tuesday anyways, so whatever.
True. But I feel like if you make it to the bracket portion, it's kind of worth like calling in sick.
Yeah,
at that
Monday or
point.
Sunday.
Not that I'm advocating skipping school, kids. Get your education, but I mean, let's be honest. If you have a chance to play EG for an upper slot in the major, I'd probably call out.
Especially nowadays, that like in the past that might not have been true. It might not have been worth it at all because you just get stomped. But nowadays that even if you lose in the major qualifier, you go straight to the minor qualifier is very valuable.
Yeah, definitely.
Depending how you play. So nowadays, I think that's far more true than it used to be. I see a lot of Dark Willow. I think that hero is really, really strong. I actually watched Crit play Dark Willow, and he just went straight Veil. He started with like Bassi, I think. And since you start, Bassi's a part of Veil now, and it's a useful item in the lane. The build up for Veil is actually a lot more convenient.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It used to be.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Crit's been an advocate of that hero since it came out. He's like,
he's level 25. Dark Willow.
He's like probably the best Willow player in the world right now. So
yeah, he owns on that hero. Yeah,
not surprising.
I honestly think Crit is the best player on EG, and he has been for since he stopped. I remember he played 5. There was that one TI where he played Winter Wyvern like every game. What was that, TI 8?
Yeah, that was unfortunate. He's probably, is he the best 4 in NA?
Yeah, in NA for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's not even, who else is even in NA?
I mean,
MSS, no one on Crit's level. Yeah, not on Crit's level for sure. I mean, Crit's won like 4 majors, and MSS has won 4 major qualifiers. You know, so it's like,
yeah, he's definitely top 3. It's like it's him, GH, and then probably FY. Or like the top.
FY. I haven't seen much of FY recently. He's still on LGD, right? They kept the same roster 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah.
They didn't qualify. They didn't win the open qualifiers because they took the first major off. So they lost in the open qualifiers. I don't know what's up with that.
They came back and they lost to FTD Apollo or something like that. I don't know. The Chinese qualifiers are nuts right now. They're like super competitive.
Yeah, the whole qualification system's stupid though, because if you're a team like LGD and you lose 1 game in an open qualifier and there's just no other chance to qualify, that's just a disgrace, honestly. There has to be some other system, you know. I always advocated for like a league system, like like they do in Counter-Strike with ESL, ESEA, you know. I just think you should be able to play several games and have like a record, and that record should be your team's value, as opposed to your performance one day,
Right.
one time.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's like, because Dota is such a complicated game. Like if you have one bad performance, that doesn't determine your worth.
Yeah, I would definitely advocate for some sort of like round robin-esque group stage. Maybe not round robin because there'd be way too many teams, but you know, like at least let people play like 6 games and then seed them into a double M bracket like that.
Yeah.
But what can you do? That's how it is for the moment, and sometimes you get upsets like that, which kind of makes the scene a little bit interesting.
The nice thing was we used to have 2 open qualifiers. Like,
Right.
if you lose an open qualifier, you get a second chance. Now you don't even get a second chance. It's more ruthless than it ever was.
Right, but the players actually asked for that.
That's because the best players ask for that because they don't even play open qualifiers. You know.
Right.
They just want to expedite the process, but I'm sure LGD might change their mind.
Yeah, seriously.
They were asking for that.
Next game should be up pretty soon. In the meantime, we're just gonna watch Pain against Furia, which is kind of for like the qualifying spot. Furia really has to win. I would say both of these, otherwise they're going to the minor.
Yeah, which is kind of expected. I think it's still 2 teams to the major, right? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be Pain and D's goes. By the way,
but it can't.
It's 2 teams, right?
No,
Oh, because they're in the same group. Well, if they make top 2 of the group, it goes into this.
Right? Yeah, they'll go into the bracket, and they could just one of them will have to go.
One could go upper bracket, one could go lower bracket. Yeah.
Right.
Props to Pain for like disbanding their really terrible old team and like actually bringing in some younger players and changing things around. Like I think they got Mandy now, who's changed his name 12 times.
Yeah.
And Dunha, who's pretty good on 4. So they actually, because they brought back like the old Pain Gaming minus I think Tavo, and it just wasn't working. It's like at some point you have to change things, not because the players are bad, but you can't, like if you're just losing for so long, you just can't.
Right, you can't have the same idea forever about the game because it's just not going to work. But I definitely think that bringing I think they brought back King RD was a huge change for them because he obviously just has like so much good leadership in the Brazilian scene, probably more than anybody else. And then HFN is clearly the best carry player in Brazil. Like it's not even close.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Do you have some more insights on the Brazilian scene since you spent some time down there playing their pubs, I assume?
I mean, I met King RD. I think he was actually kicked from the old Pain, but I think they realized that. I don't know. I think he's just a really smart, cool guy. As far as their pubs are terrible. The players are all really terrible and toxic, and it takes forever to find a game. It's just a really bad to play pubs. That's why they all play USCs. But the players are like the higher mark players are all obviously good, especially if they're playing USCs with high ping, you know.
Right, they've had to go through the gauntlet, man.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem is they just like mentality and just the social stuff.
Right.
It's just a less developed younger scene, so the mentality is just not as good as it is especially in Europe and China where teams are far more consistent.
Yeah, and they take it seriously. I mean even in NA still, it's like if you're a Dota player, it's like, are you really doing something with your life or are you just playing video games? It's sort of how people look at it, and it puts like a weird...
Yeah, that's not even Dota, that's just culture. Like,
yeah. It just puts like a weird amount of pressure on you where I feel like it kind of just like breeds toxicity because you kind of like hate yourself the whole time that you're playing video games.
Well, here's the question is, would I hate myself less if I was doing anything else? And the answer is probably no. So
Probably no. I don't know, man. If you're flipping some really good burgers at McDonald's, you might not. Just kidding. Obviously, Dota's way more fun than being a fast food worker.
What's the worst job you ever had?
The worst job I've ever had was probably doing like industrial construction demolition work in a hotel for like a big
I never
company.
did anything physical, but the worst job I ever had was I did sales at Sears, and like you had to go in wearing dress shoes, and I didn't have a car or anything. I was like 18, 17, so I would walk 2.5, 3 miles every day, and then walk home and stand in dress shoes. The boss would always tell me you're not allowed to sit because a customer could come in at any time and they don't want to see a sales associate sitting because it's unprofessional. So I had to walk like 5 miles a day and then stand for like 8 hours. And
that sounds so terrible.
After that job, I was like, I'm never doing anything like this again in my life.
Yep. Actually, that brings up a good point, because as brutal as the demo stuff was, it was like extremely tiring. You'd just get like drywall dust in your lungs and just like chunks of like plaster and shit in your eyes all the time. It was brutal. Swinging a sledgehammer all the time. But at least you could like, kind of lose yourself in just like breaking stuff, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, you have something to do. Yeah.
In college, I worked in a call center for some like manufacturing company, and I just remember sitting there, and they would like, you had a quota of how many cold calls you had to make to just like random companies all over the place. And I never hit my quota. I was always just like looking for some other way. I'd go like distract myself by talking to the boss and try and distract him from the fact that I wasn't making my calls.
You're just looking to waste time. When you do jobs like that, time goes so slow.
Oh my god, it's the worst. It's just not fun. And it just you kind of understand like why it makes sense why people end up just wanting to like just party on the weekends all the time, because you're just like, oh my god, let me do something entertaining.
Like miserable for like 4 or 5 days a week, and then they just like try and take all that misery out on healthy things, and then they restart it.
Yep.
That's why like you and I both obviously watch Gary Vee, and one of the things he advocates for is like nobody should be miserable from Monday to Friday. Like your Monday to Friday should be just as good as your weekend, or you're doing something wrong with your life, because that's literally like 75% of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't live for the weekends. You have to enjoy every day. Otherwise, it's like, or at least most of your days, right?
I mean, everyone can't have an amazing day at their job every day, but yeah, I don't know.
All right, we're waiting for this to load in. It's always a little bit slow before the draft starts because we're on a 5-minute delay in Dota TV, but
I really hope they ban that Spear Breaker, because those guys just love to play that hero. And I feel like, especially when you're like an okay-ish team in a tier 2, tier 3 qualifier, obviously they're not going to the major. So these teams are like vying for a minor spot with the points they get. So comfort is definitely the most important thing. You should look at what they're comfortable with. I think honestly people overthink things way too much when they're playing qualifiers like this.
Right. You try and outban people. Although Jenkins did say he's drafting.
Yeah.
And he drafted yesterday, I think, for the first time, and he was just telling me, he's like, yeah, I was just kind of picking random stuff, and my strategy is that if I don't know what I'm picking, how is the other team supposed to figure it out?
It's true. I would honestly just ban Spearbreaker, but they're gonna ban the TA, which is like Alien Mana Banana signature hero. And you can see they're banning all of Ray Lalise's mid heroes,
right?
As well.
Because they know his hero pool.
These are two mid players with a very small hero pools, very very small hero pools.
Right. There's the Venom ban too. Ban phase went pretty fast though. I mean, they obviously know each other.
There you go. They first picked that Spearbreaker. It's smart.
Giving it
that way, it's like it's a ban, but it's also they're stealing that hero. That way, they got the TA.
Right. I also know who Binky is, and he's a very good Spirit Breaker player. Loves this hero himself. There
you go.
They beat Fighting Pandas with Spirit Breaker yesterday.
Wow. I noticed Fighting Pandas actually changed roles. I think Moonmeander's playing support now, right?
Yep, they have Snake King back on the 3, which kind of makes sense. I feel like he just never really fit into their 4. He's always just like been a little bit too greedy of a player. And obviously they kind of need to swap things up. They put Owie on the 4 though, which is kind of interesting, instead of Moon. But I guess Moon has played 5 before competitively and hasn't played 4.
Yeah, they're gonna run with the Sand King. They're gonna run with the Wyvern support again, and this Sand King could honestly be 4 or 3. I'm seeing like a decent resurgence of Sand King 4.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously it's still more picked in 3. But For a while there, nobody picked it 4, and I'm definitely seeing some teams do that again.
Yeah, being able to start with like boots and then just ferry yourself more regen has really opened up starting builds a lot. I feel like starting builds are very kind of amorphous right now. It's kind of hard to figure out what you're actually supposed to start with depending on the game.
What do you think of this tiny carry trend? Because I've played against it a couple times, and for me it feels really bad. I don't know.
It feels bad. I just don't know what they were thinking, giving him just a permanent 150 damage, like demolish.
Yeah, that's actually really
splash attack. Like, why? Why did they do that?
Ban, well, the ban just came out super fast. Sky Lena. They're trying to ban heroes that play with the Sand King in the offlane with that Sky Lena ban.
Yeah.
And then the Lone Druid Wisp, obviously playing with Tiny on the Wisp, and just scared of that Lone Druid.
Yeah, I mean, they left Leshrac in the pool. I feel like Lesh is a pretty good pairing with the Sand King. Thought it was pretty nasty lane, and the hero's still super good, especially if you can like rush Boots of Travel in the current meta.
I honestly still like the Dark Willow. I don't really know. I know Double actually plays Dark Willow. I still think that hero's really, really strong. I think they could pick it. Lesh obviously certainly pickable.
Gives them a huge amount of team fight, although they don't really combo very well together. Like Dark Willow plus Sand King in terms of like team fight with the fear. And
yeah,
but
it's just a lot of damage and control, and it gives you it frees the Sand King up an item. He doesn't have to go Veil because Dark Willow can kind of rush it.
True.
And I just feel like it's way easier for Dark Willow to play against these two Radiant heroes. They're gonna go to Rubik, which definitely came to mind too. Immediate Coddle.
Good hero still, even after the nerfs.
And that's one of the things I think Coddle's actually really good against Wyvern. It's like, sure, you curse everyone, and then Coddle just drops the ulti on the curse.
Right.
It's like really, it's hard to follow that up.
It also sounds like a pretty nice pairing with the Tiny, just because he has fairly high mana cost spells that you can just keep refreshed, and they're all very low cooldown as well.
After playing against a Tiny with him just starting in the trees, I've played against 2 Tinies today or yesterday, and I didn't really feel like he even used spells. He just stood in the tree and hit you for 150 damage.
That's
occasionally.
That is true. But yeah, I mean, having a hard carry Tiny is a little bit weird. You kind of need to go with...
I don't like it at all. I think that trend is really bad. I think it's definitely a decent mid hero, 4, still 3. But the carry Tiny, I don't know. Because it gets to a point where everyone has like BKBs and 4 staffs and stuff. And especially with the common carries we're seeing now, like anti-mages and razors. And
yeah, he doesn't outscale them at all.
It doesn't outscale. It doesn't end games. It's really hard for him to like take towers, use an Aegis, end the game. He just doesn't fit into a carry role at all. And they're going to run with the Slark again. Should have seen that coming. It's another really good Slark game.
Yeah, it is. I would expect them to pick something for Jenkins here that deals with Slark somewhat in lane. What about something like a Beastmaster? How do you feel like that?
It's not bad. I think Wyvern's really good against Beastmaster, but I definitely think it's better than the matchup was last game. I'm trying to think of what actually would be useful. There's Axe, which I think Axe and Slark are good against each other, but they need some actual control for him because that was the biggest problem last game.
Right.
They had decent damage, but it was impossible to actually use it.
Yeah, Jenkins is an Axe player for sure.
There's also Bloodseeker, which was banned last game. They could pick a Bloodseeker right now for their carry and run the Tiny offlane or something like that. I don't. Sure. Knowing these players, I don't really think they will pick Bloodseeker, but it's definitely like a serviceable hero they could pick if they wanted.
Yeah, I don't know NPL. What about Gyro?
I'm gonna go with the Lesh. That's probably a mid Lesh here.
Really, I think it's gonna be a Jenkins Lesh. I think it's gonna be Spearbreaker Lesh offlane.
Okay.
Jenkins.
There's not a lot of heroes. That's definitely Lesh is just good against Slark in general, as long as you're fine. There's not a lot of heroes left that are pickable for mid. Knowing these players, I'm curious. They banned Quap themselves. They might just grab the Razor, honestly, with that Quap ban.
Or are they gonna go Zeus again here? It's not a bad Zeus game anymore.
It's not a bad Zeus. Rubik and Slark are so good against Zeus, but it's not as bad as last game for sure. I would prefer not to see the Zeus again, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah. What about something like a mid Gyro?
I don't think he plays that at all.
I'm surprised that that hasn't been picked up at all in this series. Seems like a really good hero right now.
Yeah, I just don't. Knowing these players, I don't think either team plays it. It's gonna be the Bloodseeker.
Okay.
I think it's a mid lash and a carry Bloodseeker and an offlane Tiny, which honestly I like a lot more than the carry Tiny.
Yep. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I mean, Jenkins obviously plays a lot of Tiny as well. The 2 strength melee heroes against Slarkin lane is a little bit questionable, but I feel like they could maybe pressure a little bit better, or at least like cut the wave and then have a free lane anyway.
I'm really curious what they choose. I mean, it's a good Storm game. It's definitely their mid.
Yeah, Storm is pretty good here. The catch is still... I mean, Rupture is obviously very good, but they don't have like a reliable, just instant stun. Outside of like Toss, maybe, from Tiny. Feels like it's one of those games where the Tiny sort of has to carry the first 20 minutes.
Death Puppet. I like it.
You do like it?
Yeah, some good building damage. It's really good against Spearbreaker because it's very hard to actually set. Jenkins is going to play the Lash. Wow. It's going to be the carry, or the mid-tiny. Mid-tiny. I like the Death Prophet just because it's really good against heroes that just want to jump you, and you can like buy yourself a lot of time.
Sure.
I think Spearbreaker, Tiny, and Bloodseeker are kind of those heroes.
I definitely like the support duo better this time for Bears, though.
Yeah, Spearbreaker Caudle much better than Invoker and P.
Yeah. I feel like level of execution for that last game for Bears was just way too high. It was like you have to hit exactly like 2 timings, otherwise the game is extremely hard, and that's what we saw. But those, they have quite a bit of team fight, and both teams have pretty good building damage. So Roche potential, though, kind of trash for both.
Yeah, I think eventually it depends what kind of item build Tiny goes for. Eventually Bloodseeker and Leshrac will do decent damage to Roche. I'm curious to see. I guess it'll be Spearbreaker or Leshrac landing together, and then this Caudle Bloodseeker.
Right. The question is, who builds the vessel this game? Is it Spiritbreaker? Is he going to get enough farm to get there quickly?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be Spiritbreaker for the Death Prophet. You mean? Yeah, I think it's going to be. I don't think any of the cores actually want to go that. Tiny's definitely going to go. I actually don't know. I don't know if you even go Blink. I think he might just go. I don't know.
S and Y or something like that.
I've seen so many weird items on Tiny. People trying to make it work. I'm curious to see what he goes.
I feel like you have to go Blink. Just jump the Wyvern. Jump the Wyvern Rubik, something like that, but
yeah, maybe.
I'm so curious about starting items right now, just because it feels like you have too much gold to spend. It used to be very easy. You'd like, all right, 2 sets of tangos, salve, mango, buy the Quelling Blade at the side shop.
Well, I think what Rubik did is the play, which is buying a buckler. Like, I think each side lane should have a buckler for sure. Like, either your offlane or your 4 should buy a buckler. Yeah, I definitely think most games that's the play. It's really valuable.
Starting with Uv though is also quite nice on somebody like the Breaker. Although trading with Slark, not the easiest. But I know that this is potentially Jenkins's most comfortable hero on the offlane right now. He's been playing a lot of Sand King last patch, but I've been seeing him play a ton of Leshrac and really carry with it recently.
The hero's definitely good, and it's good against Slark. It's pretty susceptible to just getting blown up, though.
Yeah, if you don't get off to a good start, you can be in trouble. And he's going to take a bunch of damage here. Might need the Spearbreaker to come in and save him. Actually, he's going to have to pop the salve at the very least.
I think he's going to try and save the salve and burn through his Fangos.
I think he went for Bash first, just to trade, so...
It's honestly really good, and this is what you want to do against Slark. Like, Spearbreaker's, yeah. Spearbreaker's actually really strong early like this.
Throwing the creeps.
He did end up using the salve. Wow. And a Tango. That was actually really inefficient usage of the tank.
Come on, Jenkins. You gotta set a better example for your viewers here on YouTube. You're leaning against the Gameleap and they're out regenning
They're
you.
owning. Yeah, they're owning.
They're out regenning you. Our marketing plan is backfiring right now.
Is that it? The marketing plan is entirely dependent on regen?
Oh yeah. All it really matters in Dota.
So I think it's hard, but I think I still prefer Doza's draft. I'm not really sure. It's kind of for me depending on what the Sand King gets done. He actually started with Caustic, and I think with the Buckler and like the Caustic and the Ring of Protection and Sand King bottom, they're actually gonna be really, really strong bottom.
Yeah, this is not a fun lane for Bloodseeker, actually. He kind of hates playing against these heroes that want to shove the lane into his face and then abuse the fact that he like has to stay near the creeps to regen. I think Sand King's one of the better heroes against Bloodseeker in lane. Canadian internet, man. Not good. Not good.
Is it not good? I guess it is. People, I think Canadians are always complaining.
Does seem like it.
Honestly, I'm just thankful to not have Comcast anymore. It's the worst. I don't know what they have in Canada, but Comcast is the worst company on earth. They're honestly the worst, shadiest company on earth.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
There's like Nestle, which is trying to like privatize human water and make it so people can't drink water anymore, and then Comcast is right with them. It's like toe and toe. The worst company.
True. I'd kind of like to see Stepdad's Binky Love My Son get a nice pull off here so they can pressure the Slark a little bit more, because right now they're just playing under his tower, which is where Slark wants to be.
Yeah, they should pull the next group away for sure.
Like he will go do that. Courier makes it safely out to lane and back without dying. It's a miracle. Oh, they're not going to pull the lane.
He's got charge on Wyvern.
What was that stun, Jenkins?
He's just nervous laning against Gameleap.
It's true. I mean, I would be too. Anyway, we're gonna go look at some of the other lanes and let him figure it out.
Next thing we know, we're gonna have 7 top ways to make your enemy Leshrac miss his stun.
You know,
video coming out.
Do the old bulldog thing, or anything bad happens, you're just like, oh wait, what's happening in the bottom lane? Hey, look at that.
So how many hits do you get with the tree? How does the tree even work? Is what I understand. You just get perpetual.
So
hits?
you get bonus 50% building damage. You have 30% splash at level 1. Costs 50 mana, an additional 10% unit damage, and you just have it in perpetuity until you throw it, and then you can pick it back up again. So you just get.
That's so dumb.
You just it's kind of like having Empower, but it's better. Like a better Empower, basically. It
slows you, right? You're slower with that?
I believe so.
I can't read it because he's holding it, so you can't read what it does anymore.
Yeah, I believe it does slow you by like 10%, something like that.
It's at least nice, I guess.
Rubik lift into
it's
tower.
25. It's 25.
The 25% slow?
No, it's just minus 25 move speed.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, in the laning stage, you don't care at all. You're just standing.
Yeah, exactly. You're just tiny. You're just standing on creeps. I'd be cool if it like lowered your armor or something. There's got to be some negative to that because it's just nuts for laning.
Yeah. What do you think about the Magnus Ags, by the way?
Is that's the skewer one?
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. I don't know.
4-second cooldown, no mana cost. Questionable, Ice Frog.
They have to get rid of these sentries bottom, and they're just not. It's really important. Like they have 2 couriers and neither one. They brought out 2 couriers and neither killed the sentry, or the sentry for sinking.
Yeah, I mean that's literally all Sand King laning is.
DP.
Oh,
this is why DP is actually good against Bara. You're just really resilient.
Just suck them.
You have a good strength gain. You have the suck.
Yep, we got level 3 in the Spirit Siphon already, so 4% max HP. Bara is looking like a snack to the Death Prophet. Jenkins pops a salve, trying to get aggressive on this pull. This is kind of... It's so interesting now with the neutral items. You really want to fight for these pulls because you can take away items from the other team if you go contest. Like, if the item drops to their creeps, then you pick it up, they get one less item of that tier.
Oh, get the rune, Jenkins. Yeah, it's true.
It will be, what, 2 for 2? Yep. 2 for 2 on the bounties.
Oh god, Bloodseeker sped up from I don't know what. Who's low? Somebody.
Sand King's low. The one who's about to die.
Yeah, he's low now. Yeah, but he was getting sped up from top, the bar or something. And just dived him. No sandstorm, nothing. He's just dead.
Yep, double ahead rotated out to, I think, stack maybe? He just wasn't in the lane. Bloodseeker's gonna go use the shrine potentially, picking up boots. And a Wraith Band.
Yeah, this is a problem. Radiant just outplayed them in the bot lane. They just got... Oh god, he missed the stun on thinking. They just got pretty outplayed, especially because they never killed the sentry.
Yep. I think Kaleo brought like 2 or 3 of them to lane and just kept dewarding, because there was one here that they caught. Ray's going to rotate in. They're going to dive double it potentially. No, they'll change their target over to the Sand King, who's under the sentry. He already died there once. He knows that there's a sentry, you would assume.
Yeah, it's just a free rotation.
Yeah. Jenkins, top lane, could be in trouble. Probably going to go down here to the Slark. He will, but at the same time, Jenkins leads his team to victory in the bottom lane, so it's looking pretty good for Dota Alchemy in this one so far.
I agree. I think the Bloodseeker got away with winning a lane really hard. That probably should have been more closely even. That's going to be really, really useful for them.
Yeah. Look at the CS charts. You've got even for the offlaners, but both the mid and carry matchups going quite well.
I'm really curious to see what some of the items are, because I honestly don't know what some of these heroes are going to build, like Bloodseeker and Tiny especially. I am assuming maybe a Blade Mail for Bloodseeker this game could be useful. As far as Tiny, I don't know, because I've seen every item under the... He actually just bought all the wards on Tiny. It's very weird. I've seen every item under the sun being bought for Tiny right now, but he did go Treads.
Yep. There will be a ultimate on the DP popped, pressuring in this mid tower. They do have Glyph. Gonna try and pull the creeps off. We'll Glyph it up there. More lag from the Canadians. Lesh getting low again too. Jenkins is...
Yeah, well, he managed to kill Slark, which is huge. So definitely you could see the difference this game from last game, where Slark not only free farmed but also got fed a bunch of kills.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is just objectively a much harder lane for Slark to play against anytime you have a ranged hero with some stuns and setup. Here's the charge to mid lane, rotating in the Coddle as well. Bloodseeker also making his way over. Hasn't hit level 6 yet, so he doesn't have Rupture.
Actually really diving him hard, but there's no way he's
Ouch.
killable. I don't know what they're doing.
Little over aggression there.
Almost 2 free kills. And back to full HP with the Exorcist. I don't know what that is. A little feed from Spirit Breaker.
Just Spear Breaker things, right? Yeah. You've seen it in your pubs at least once or twice, where they just
yeah.
charge in, they say, go, 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 and you say, no, 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 and they're like, fuck you, I'm going in.
It's like they have no context for the situation, but they're
Right.
just like, I'm definitely killing everybody. Solid Trusty Shovel's an insane item. That's
yeah.
like one of the best tier 1 items.
Especially if you have
Just
a bottle.
It's yeah, with the bounty runes. Like I got 4 bounty runes from Trusty Shovel in like 5 minutes. It's just nuts.
Needs a bash, needs a bash. Ooh. We'll
And
get him
it's
with the
150 HP too, which is pretty sick. He actually is going to give it away. I would never give that away if I'm Bloodseeker, to be honest with you.
I think they want to
he's getting
transfer
the
it.
drums.
I think they want to transfer it to Ray though, because he has the bottle. I guess.
Maybe. That makes sense.
Slark getting quite low. Can't regen because of the Bloodseeker, but Jenkins, he is hot out. Oh, the jukes.
Nah, definitely not.
The jukes. So
we have outposts and bounties spawn in a minute.
Yep.
I don't really think they can do anything in the Bloodseeker bottom because Sand King's 4, so I really think it's important that both teams try and vie for this top outposts and bounties. They have a shrine top for Dire. They could easily shrine with this Rubik.
yes,
And then go play top.
Sand King could snipe the bounty at the outpost, but he's definitely not getting
with
the actual
stun,
outpost himself.
Yeah.
But looks like they're going to rotate to the mid lane and try and kill this DP. Kind of
I
interesting.
really don't like this play.
Playing to the mid instead of the side, yeah. I mean, he's
They're
going to
gonna
die, for sure. But are you going to
They
give
might
up?
just lose both outposts. and
Exactly.
Many of the bounties. We'll see.
Yeah, now they have to run back to the side lanes, and that means that Does will be set up for the outposts, potentially.
So do you get experience the first time you activate the outpost at 10
Yep.
minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna happen. They are quick to be top again with Bar and Lesh. That might be enough to get that outpost.
Pressuring the tower, though. I mean, they're trying to force in the wave, but I feel like they need to go get the outpost.
They're gonna get both bottom. Yeah, it's gonna be split 50-50 looks like, but Dyer's actually doing a good job. They're gonna kill Jenkins and take this outpost as well. Yeah, so I think it's definitely Dyer favored. They're gonna get a kill on the outpost plus.
Yep.
The actual outpost.
Absolutely.
Even.
And Pingu channeled the outpost while he's in Sandstorm. So that's kind of neat that you can do that. I think they got both outposts, right?
That's why it's, yeah, definitely Dyer favored.
Yep. Dubla probably going to go down in the mid lane. Yep, we'll get a tree to the back of the head.
Jenkins is 1900 net worth, I just realized. That is not good.
He's the lowest.
He's gonna rush travels. He's gonna be real squishy. He's running down the slide.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty classic Jenkins, though. He likes to play this, like, just full space create. So, I mean, he'll end up just being, like, the solo one playing by himself while the rest of them run around together.
Yeah, my issue is Lesh is just such an important part of their damage that I actually see this backfiring pretty hard. He's actually going to die top again. Yep. And you can't juke over there anymore. That's something players haven't adjusted to. It's the second time you tried that.
Right, with the outpost vision.
You can't do that with the outpost vision. It's just insane. It's something I found myself having to adjust to as well. It's hard.
Right, yeah, that's usually your safe space as an offlaner, but unless you own the outpost, it's really, really dangerous over there.
And they actually, look at this ward. They actually just dropped a... I guess that was before the outpost. Yeah, before they took it. It gives like vision of like impending Bara charges.
Yeah, warding is really interesting right now on the new map. I think people are still trying to figure out where the best places are for them.
Elixir on Bloodseeker.
He's getting smoked on though.
Yeah, I think he's hopefully cognizant of the fact that they're not showing middle at all and they have all this vision. Yeah.
Gonna hide in the trees, but probably.
It's one of those things is like if they're not showing in 2 lanes,
yeah,
they're
on the way. They're on the way to you for sure. Curse to set up on Jenkins. He is slowed, but potentially gonna get out. Ray super out of position. He's just gonna get melted.
He might dive too. He's gonna just go for the tower on DP. They're gonna run down Bara as well. I don't really understand why they are trying to execute that push right now. It's really hard.
I feel like they feel like they need to get something done, but Bloodseeker is not showing up for any plays at all because he's just farming. And he's having a really good game, but it's also kind of at the cost of his team, who's still trying to make stuff happen when they're behind.
Oh no, man. Coddle ulti missed. And it was stolen by Rubik. Oh my goodness.
Disaster.
Gracious. It's another dead Lesh. Oh, the tips come out.
Uh-oh. Jenkins.
Let's sub in the better half of Dota Alchemy real quick.
Just gotta take a deep breath, man. Get it together, kid. You're making me look bad on stream. No, I'm just kidding.
But in general, yeah, I'm really worried about his Lesh because with this Travels Rush, he's going to be so fragile for so long. I don't even know if you can even do that anymore, especially I just feel like Sand King's going to get a blink and a Travels himself, and it's going to be so hard to actually do the split pushing that he's probably intending to do.
Yeah. Yeah, if the Sand King gets Travels anytime soon, which he has queued up right now, has the blink pretty much done, it could get very scary for Jenkins. I mean, you can see them now starting to group up with the Bloodseeker. Feels like it's maybe 5 minutes too late.
He's not going blink like I said on Tiny. He's going Echo Saber Shadow Blade. This builds are so weird. Like I'm seeing SNYs, Echo Sabers, Shadow Blades, all sorts of very strange items.
Interesting.
People are trying to figure out how to make this like right-clicking tiny work because obviously there's value there.
Right.
It's just what items you actually go. I kind of like his build. I don't know about the Shadow Blade, but I kind of like the Echo Saber.
Yeah, it is interesting. Uh-oh. Jenkins getting very low. Rupture on the Slark.
Kind of wasted a Rupture, yeah.
It does save Jenkins, though, which I feel like, just for morale purposes, is pretty important right now. Yanking gets the tower on the bottom side, though. And
They may actually... Oh, Hasty.
Ray getting greedy, trying to run and get the last hit on the tower. Will get it. Loses the haste of the Yules, but not going to get gone on.
Nobody's going for these bounties and outposts again, which means it's more experience for Dire. Let's watch the experience change. So yeah, it's so much experience for 5 heroes. It's crazy because they have both.
Do they have both?
Nobody's
They do,
TPing
yeah.
top and getting this bounty though. Nobody's even aware. Sand King or somebody should be TPing top. Wyvern maybe. They all have TPs. They're just gonna let Jenkins take this bounty on top. And the Shrine outpost. Not sure about that.
Yeah.
But they'll get a Coddle kill in exchange. Definitely not worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Not enough punish. Oh, he drops the ultimate.
Oh
He's
wow,
actually
he lived with the 1 HP.
loses the ultimate again, though. That's the second time he's gotten it stolen. You gotta save, like, Illuminate or something. He doesn't have Illuminate, so he can't. There's nothing to save.
Rubik's actually owning. He also just stole Bar ult.
Big
somebody.
Epicenter. Ray still very, very tanky, though, with this Echo Saber build, but he's gonna get chased down here for sure. Bloodseeker coming in now.
Oh gosh. He's so fast on Bloodseeker.
Ray. Oh, the Ghost! The Ghost is fucking him so hard! The Ghost literally slowing him to the point where he can't get away. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Dire's coming alive, especially with the outpost experience. Many things go in their favor, and I haven't felt the impact of Bloodseeker at all yet.
Yeah, it's not the easiest game to play into a Death Prophet until you have, like, Blade Mail or just really over-farmed. Anybody who doesn't care if you just run at them is not fun for Bloodseeker to play against.
It's so weird seeing this Echo Saber Shadow Blade on.
Tiny.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He might own, but he also might just be useless. I just imagine him getting pounced and then stunned and silenced and fade vaulted and.
Yeah, you kind of need like BKB. Otherwise,
what are they spamming? What is that?
I don't know.
Something about Lisa. I don't really know what it is.
Some client-side info on its connection or something.
Yeah, it's something like you're not actually lagging.
Alright, speaking of neutral items, there are currently only two on the side of bears.
Yeah, it's kind of odd because they haven't, and they're not very good. There's a Grove Bow on Leshrek's backpack, which is pretty useless.
Yep.
No one can take advantage of that because they don't have actual range to carry. And then the Shovel, which is alright, but not that good.
Not anymore, yeah.
It's not crazy, anyways. There's not that many items at all, actually.
Yeah, nobody's really been farming the jungle. It's just been running at each other. But still not even that many kills. So, kind of interesting pacing of the game. You'd expect them to want to try and, get their weight up a little bit in terms of items before they take more fights. Force Staff on the Keeper will definitely be really important going forward. Still needs about 900 gold for it. Bloodseeker is super farm, though. He's definitely the strongest hero.
So, different items this game. Slark getting the Echo Saber. I think the choice is really good for me. Just extra HP is super useful against Tiny Bloodseeker.
And then the Basher as well.
This game, yeah, it's going to be a lot of extra strength. All Slark needs to go insane this game is like one good jungle item. Like one tier 2, tier 3 item.
Give him like an Orb of Destruction or something like that, and it's just yikes.
Imp Claw, Titan Sliver, whatever that one's called. They're gonna try and set up this kill. They have a charge coming out. Oh god.
That was questionable.
It's like the third questionable coddle, honestly, that I've seen. And they're coming. Sand King is here. They're going to at least kill this bar. I hope they go for more than him.
This is definitely not a place where you want to fight. Ray is running over, but you're running uphill into a shrine.
Yeah, ideally they go for more. It's going to be pretty hard.
Jenkins could get caught here. He's going to get
Oh
bounced.
my god, that was actually just a coincidence.
He just leaped over the trees and called it.
Yeah, he was trying to chase the Bloodseeker, and he actually just leaped over the trees into him.
Ouch.
Yeah, this is honestly a big example of why Tiny's build is like not useful for their team, because they just tried to initiate with Coddle ult, and it was just a disaster. They had like a tiny toss back stun into Rupture.
Right.
It'd probably be a lot better. Instead, Tiny's just actually jungling.
Yeah, their initiation is just like it doesn't exist. That's one of the big problems. It was the problem last game too. They just couldn't really take fights unless they were being initiated on. It's the same thing now. So, gonna be maybe another one of those games where the Bears kind of have to just like fight around their high ground maybe for once instead of trying to push the pace. But then you're giving Slark and Sand King more space to get their items.
Yeah, it's difficult actually.
Jenkins
For
only
them,
level 8 at 18 minutes.
Yeah, there's no one who can really play on map the way Radiant wants. Tiny's just jungling. And Lesh is just so fragile now. He actually bought 3 bracers. He's still trying to go travels. Oh, the Grove Bow lowers their magic resistance, so it's actually not that bad for
Yep.
Lesh.
Yeah, but you have to attack them. So it's like it's only if you're attacking them that it
Yeah,
happens.
gotcha. I don't know how long. It doesn't say how long the debuff lasts.
No, thanks for the tooltips, Valve. They've done a. They
I
added so
assume
much
it's
stuff.
3, 4, 5 seconds. Yeah, some of the stuff is just incomplete.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's gonna be a BKB rush for Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he needs it. He needs to be able to run in because without the Leshrac being able to take all the focus in the fight, you kind of have to have the Bloodseeker do it, and then Lesh kind of plays on the periphery and does the damage.
He's got a Bloodstone queued up on Lesh too.
That's
the new Bloodstone seems pretty strong.
Super good with the Kaya buildup.
Mm-hmm.
I've even seen like ODs going for Bloodstone now.
Yeah. I played against OD that just got like Vampire Claw or whatever that's called, and then Imp Claw and a Bloodstone, and he's just insane, you know. I feel like sometimes if a guy's doing well and then they have like 2 lucky drops, it's just insane.
Yeah. Overall, though, how do you feel about the patch? Do you have like any favorite items, or
Favorite item. I'm really enjoying it. I like to play Puck a lot and Invoker a lot. I feel like those 2 heroes are really good, so I'm enjoying it.
oh yeah, the puck
I
buffs,
like-
of course.
Yeah, I like the jungle. The jungle stuff I think initially was pretty bad, but the A and B patches they've done have been good, and they'll probably have a C and D, and by then it'll be good. I think a couple items are still too strong, and it's still a little too random. But other than that, I'm enjoying it. I really like the outposts. I think having another objective to fight for is cool. The map changes are cool.
Yep.
No hero feels all that broken, especially now with the jungle items. Like you can kind of circumvent if your hero's a little bit weaker. Overall, I like it. I like it. It's not my favorite patch ever, but I like it. I think
Yeah,
it's a good patch.
I just like how it feels super fresh right now. It feels a little bit
Mhm.
kind of like back to the days of like Dota 1 or Han, where you're just like every patch you're like, what are they gonna do to the game? And then they introduce some new hero that you're like, this is not balanced at all, and it's like it makes all the games super crazy, and nobody has any idea what's going on. It's kind of how the patch feels right now, which I am a fan of because it feels a lot more fresh. I think last patch was just like ridiculously formulaic about how the game was going. Just got kicked out of the game.
Me too. Oh god, I think this is
Uh-oh.
one of.
Not gonna let us log back in, is it?
Yeah, this is one of the problems that they're having right now.
Yeah. I think that might be the end of our casting of this.
Yeah. They're having some problems watching, spectating games now. It's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, this happened to me yesterday. I'm gonna restart Dota, but I don't think it's gonna help.
Yeah.
Even start Steam. Anything?
This is honestly, by the way, why I really think the Lesh should have been mid, and the Tiny should have been off lane going a blink instead of carry items. I think you're seeing like an exact example. Lesh fell off really hard. If he had like a good mid game, which is pretty easy to accomplish against this Death Prophet, he would, have a lot more farm, and then the Tiny actually could be having a blink instead of trying to go Echo Saber Shadow Blade and be their carry. I don't know. I think that for me was I don't like the fact that I know Jenkins is probably more comfortable on Lesh right now, but I really don't like the fact they did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that being the case. It also seems like Lash maybe matches up a little bit better against the DP mid. But yeah, I just got a little bit of a hot fix patch, which means that there's like no way I'm gonna be able to get back into this older lobby.
Yeah, me neither. All right.
Well, best of luck to Jenkins and Speed.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I had fun.
Of course. Yeah, we'll have to do some more of these soon.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you later.
See you later.
All right, chat. Looks like that's the end of the stream for now. Apologies. We can watch the mini map here and I can analyze. Oh, looks like Bloodseeker is mid. Tiny is going into the jungle. Leshrac is teleported to the bottom side of the map. He teleports forward again. All of Doze is on the top side of the map around the secret shop. Not sure what they're doing. Maybe having like a bonfire or something like that. Spirit Breaker over by the tier 2 tower. Oh, teleport by the Wyvern. And Coddle also teleporting. Rubik teleporting. Bloodseeker teleporting. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to cast off of this. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have to see who wins. I don't know. But it's looking like it's Doe's favorite at the moment. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll be back with our regular shows on Tuesday and Thursday. Oh, I guess I could watch it on Twitch. Hold on. Little watch party. We can try and do a little bit of a watch party here. Sec. They're still in the game. Okay, cool. Not what I want. Get out of here. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, DreamLeague, for allowing me to restream your stuff on YouTube. Hopefully, we don't get copyright struck. That would be unfortunate. Zyari, my boy. There we go. There's the correct resolution. And no in-game sound, a little unfortunate. Don't want to use their audio because that would definitely get copyright struck. So I should probably put my face cam over this as well. Trying to not lose my only source of income. That would be really, really nasty. There we go. I won't even cover up the monster. How about that? You can have all of your sponsorships, no problem. What about if I do this? Does this help? Hi guys. So I'm casting the game right now. No, I'm just kidding. This actually doesn't seem like a good idea. So we'll end the stream here. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can watch it over on Zyari and the DreamLeague channel. But good luck to both teams.